everything cooked. Let's get everything popping and good to go. Alright. Let's get it rolling. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Truth Podcast. My name is Neek Robinson, if you guys don't know. I'm a little bit of a podcaster here. But today, something that I wanted to touch on is something that's kind of very dear and close to my heart, actually. And it's this topic of how I believe that life is honestly way too fucking short, and that you have to just take life basically and run with it to the best of its ability, because honestly in the past year, tomorrow's going to be a tough day for me. I feel like it's the year anniversary of one of my best friends, Malik Rucker's death. This time last year, he was in a bad car accident, and his life was unfortunately taken from him, and he was only 18 years old at the time. And you know that this kid, man, he touched my heart in so many different ways. And this time last year I was very shooken up. It took me a while to really kind of come to peace with everything, and kind of just take, I don't know, I took a lot of lessons through life, from life, out of his death. And it taught me who I am as a person, and it taught me this overall idea of how I believe that life is way too short. And it caused me to really take a look at my life and what I was doing at the time. And it made me grind harder, and it made me overall, it made me a better person, because unfortunately his life was ended. But I think that it touched so many people around us, and it taught us as young people that we are not promised a tomorrow. And tomorrow I am going to be releasing my newest short film that is called My Friend Rucker. Basically, in the short film, I'm just you guys will see it tomorrow if you guys follow me on YouTube or whatever. And I'm going to be posting it on Twitter and also Facebook and all that stuff. But basically, I kind of wanted to talk about me and Rucker's story, and what he taught me, and one of my favorite memories from him, and like the things that stick out. Basically, it's just me writing a poem about his life and everything like that, and just how thankful I am to have been able to meet a kid like that. And I did consider him family, to be honest with you. He was a brother to me, and we spent a lot of time together when he was in 9th grade and I was in 10th grade. He used to stay at my house, and we bonded over a lot of stuff. So he is a very good kid, and I miss him a lot. I miss him every day. I think about him every day. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just hop on here and just spread a positive message, and just to kind of like give people out there that think about life as this, oh, I'm going to make it to 60, I'm going to make it to 70, 80, I'm going to live to be 100, yada yada. And it's like, life throws some very, very heavy curveballs at you, and sometimes you have to learn to be able to catch those things and run with them, because sometimes, life doesn't, we're not promised tomorrow, really. We're not promised anything in this world, and nobody owes you anything. So, when your time is called upon, and it's time for you to leave this earth, and that's your time to go, and there's nothing you can do or say about it. Time is really the one thing that we will never ever get back in this world. You can buy all the fancy cars, you can buy all the fancy clothes, whatever it is, But the one thing that you cannot buy is time. We, as human beings, we are born with our birth date, and ultimately we do have a set death date, just depending on the moment in time. But, in between that point in your life is kind of the things that you're living for. So, what I wanted to talk about today is just this idea that, I heard this quote, I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast. It was something that kind of stuck out to me. But basically what it said was, I think that it was Donnell Rawlings, I think that said it. But he said that when you look at a grave, I believe, and you see that there's the person's born date and then there's the person's death date on the other side, and in between there's this dash, and what the dash is basically their story of life and what they basically went out to do and conquer the world. And basically what he was getting at was, what is your dash going to tell you at the end of your life, and what it's going to tell the other people that are looking at your gravestone, what it's going to tell about your life that you lived in between those two dates. So basically, like, after the whole situation that happened last year, it taught me that, I need to live in this moment, and take everything and all the people that I have around me. Don't take them for granted, because, they could end up being gone tomorrow. I could be gone tomorrow, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I've been trying to reach out to friends, to family, people that have touched my heart in just moments in time, and not hold grudges on anybody anymore, because that's just kind of water under the bridge. If they've hurt me, yada yada, it's like, I can get over it to a certain extent, and there's no ill will to anybody. So if we've had our differences in the past, just know that I'm still sending you positive energy and positive vibes, because life is way too short to be holding grudges, and ultimately just love the people around you. That's all that I really kind of wanted to talk about was, you, instead of being so negative to everybody that's around you, there's a lot of people that just hate on other people's existences, and there's a lot of negative energy on social media, and people just always trying to pick fights with people and start this drama and all this stuff. And it's just like, you guys need to take a step back from that and just kind of realize that we're all human beings, and we all are born into this world, and we're all going to die eventually, and kind of learn to become peaceful with this idea of life. You don't have to take my advice, but that's kind of something that I wanted to spread to the world and on this podcast today. But yeah, really, that's all that I kind of wanted to talk about today, everybody. I think that something that I would tell you guys to just think about is, or do some homework for you, in a sense. Basically would just be to reach out to the people that you haven't talked to in a while, that you've been dreaming about, or, you've thought about, just in your everyday life, and just reach out to them and strike up a conversation, because at a particular time, you guys were close, you guys were friends, whatever the case may be, and it ended on bad terms. Don't be afraid to reach out and just say what's up to them, and just say like, hey, I was thinking about you. Just wanted to reach out and see how you're doing. It could be something short, it could be something sweet, whatever the case may be. But don't be afraid to reach out to people regardless of the terms that you guys left off on, because everybody makes mistakes. We're all kind of learning as we go through life. And, as I've been stating in the podcast, life is way too short to hold grudges and, to just hate the people around you and the people that were in your life previously. But yeah, tomorrow, just be on the lookout for the short film that I'm going to be releasing. I'm going to be tweeting about it, posting about it on Facebook, all that stuff. Give me some feedback, quote it and say like what you liked about it, or, what you didn't like about it, whatever. I want this to kind of be something that, just strikes up the conversation and, ultimately like is conveying this message that I'm trying to talk about on the podcast, and just stating that life is too short, and, it kind of gets us off the couch in a sense, and gets us out and living life instead of, just kind of dwelling on the past or whatever the case is. But yeah, so just be on the lookout for that tomorrow with the new short film. It's definitely, I believe that it's one of my favorite short films as of now, and I'm super excited to share it with the world tomorrow. So I'm hoping that it can just kind of evoke some emotions from people, and just ultimately I wanted it to be present to Rucker and to his memory of life and what he taught me while he was on this earth with me and everybody else around us. But that's it, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Truth Podcast. I want to thank you guys for just sticking out and just listening to me talk for a couple minutes of your time, and hopefully you guys take away some beautiful messages about life and whatnot else. It's the whole preface of the podcast, just trying to spread positivity and love, energy, kindness, all that stuff. But my name is Neek Robinson. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Truth Podcast. I'll catch you guys next week with another guest episode. That's it, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys next time. Peace.